professional golf, the only sport that requires a chauffeur. There's a tradition at the Masters tournaments where players will try to skip their ball over the water hazard during practice. But even that wasn't enough showing off for one golfer this weekend.
As PGA players ready for this weekend's Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia, golfer Jon Rahm showed off during yesterday's practice round, skipping his ball on purpose across the pond and onto the green on the 16th hole. The ball tracks around the edge of the green, funnels toward the flagstick, and rolls into the cup. It was a hole-in-one, if you can believe that.
Okay, that was insane! But it also sucks that it was during the practice round. The perfect shot when it doesn't count. I feel bad for that guy. Because we've all had that day, you know? When you're staying at home, but all of a sudden you're having the perfect hair day, everything looks tight. Then the next day you have a date, and it's the one day where you wear your underwear outside your pants, and you're like, ah, crap, man, you should have seen me on Sunday. I was looking so fly. But you know who I really feel bad for? Is the guy behind him on the course, because how do you top that shot? You can't just get a hole-in-one, because he did that. And he skipped the ball across the pond. The next guy's gonna have to try and skip his cart across the pond. Oh, shit! And I do hope that the PGA learns from this moment, because this video got over 10 million views in just a few hours, which never happens for a golf highlight. So clearly, what golf needs is more fun trick shots. Bring in more tricks. Add a few obstacles. Maybe a tunnel where first dates can share an awkward kiss. Some windmills. Now that's the kind of game people want to watch. Wait, that's a thing? But let's move on to some good news for people who love reading, but also love convenience.
All right, forget the usual vending machines you might find on college campuses.
A couple of new dispensers at BYU are offering food for thought.
A vending machine full of short stories.
Fighting and pulling, she wept at once with sudden, wild abandonment.
These stories are from around the world. There are some translations, there are classics, there's contemporary literature. We've had them up for about a week, and we've dispensed almost 2,000 stories already.
They said she had died of heart disease, of the joy that kills.
Why go to a candy dispenser when you can have a piece of good literature instead?
Why go to a candy dispenser when you can have a piece of good literature instead? I mean, this is a cool idea, but I feel bad for the kids who went to her house on Halloween last week. Who wants Three Musketeers? Yay! By Alexandre Dumas. Ah, let's egg this house. Also, I'll tell you this, you do not want to get the wrong vending machine after you've been out drinking all night. Can you imagine? You just wanted some Doritos, and now the whole town is throwing rocks at some lady, like, what the hell? And it's extra awkward if one gets stuck, because, I mean, you can't shake a machine that's full of, like, short stories. I'm paid for a terse allegory about growing old, goddammit, give it to me! Although, if you ask me, they should combine the two things and have a vending machine where they print the story on a bag of Funyuns. Yeah, then you can eat while you're reading. Oh, it was a dark and stormy night, and Catherine's heart was aflame. And finally, a really heartwarming story about a New Yorker and her new feathered friend.
What a turnaround for this one-time sick swan. Tonight, the story of a woman out for a ride on her bike who discovered the swan and helped to save her life.
While taking in the beautiful day, she noticed a lone swan who could barely move.
I just couldn't leave her there, so I approached really slowly with my jacket to try to throw it over her body and her head.
Ariel carried the 17-pound frightened swan for a mile back to her bike. Some kind drivers stopped to give them a lift to the subway station. Then they hopped on the A train. Fellow strap hangers didn't even do a double take when they saw Bay, named after Jamaica Bay, minding her own on the train like any other commuter.
New Yorkers are just so used to so many crazy things happening that it doesn't faze them.
Yeah, of course no one is surprised by a swan on the subway. This is New York. Last year I got mugged by a duck. Oh, shit. But it's true, people. Nothing phases New Yorkers on the subway. You look up from your phone, and there's a swan. There's a guy jerking off. There's a swan jerking off. You just go back to your phone. No eye contact. That's the rule. Although, I do think it's funny that swans get better health care in America than humans. Because, like, imagine a guy throws a bag over your head, tosses you in a van, and then takes you to get your mole checked out for free. Tell me that's not better than your insurance plan. But kudos to this lady for caring enough about a swan to carry it onto the subway. Although I don't know why when she does it, she's a hero, but when I do it, I'm banned from the zoo for life. How is that fair? Oh, and in case you're wondering, the woman and the swan made it to their destination safely, and guys, things are going swimmingly.
Ariel promptly brought the swan to the Wild Bird Fund on the Upper West Side, where she used to work and where she knew Bay would get proper care. Bay loves her kibbles and salad. You can tell she's happy by her hearty appetite and her wagging tail. She's having such a great time. Workers here noticed Bay started honking to a male swan in the other room, so they let the pair swim together. Who knows, maybe this rescue story will turn into a love story by the time the swans are healthy enough to go back into the wild.
All right, hold on. The swan is getting it too good now. Now it's got free healthcare and salad and a man. I mean, it's a beautiful story, but it's going to make single people feel like shit. Homeless birds are finding love during a pandemic and my lonely ass is eating cold chicken in my underwear? Well, congratulations on finding true love, Subway Swan. And I know people will tell you that it won't work because you're from different worlds. I mean, you're from Jamaica Bay. He's from the Upper West Side. People will say that it won't work, but remember, in the end, you're just two beautiful animals who love to peck children's eyes out.